Okay. Is this working? I believe it is. I was having trouble trying to get this thing started. Yes, it does seem to be working now. Yes, I hear myself. Yay! Lovely. All right, let's turn that down. Let's do this. Let's move that over there. Alrighty. Woo! All right, I think I got this going for all 5 of you. Whoop, sorry, 2 left. For all 3 of you that are here. Oh, 5 are back. Hey, how you doing? Hey, it's Ellis B. Feaster here. Jersey Mike, you're good. Yes, at last, it's working. Woohoo! Anyway, just thought I'd do a little live session today. I'm still trying to figure out the mechanics of how this works, so I'm still working on it. I'd also like to figure out how to change the orientation of the screen so it's long rather than looking like I'm on Instagram. But, well, this is what we got for now. Anyway, hi, welcome. I am Ellis. Glad you guys are here. I am the guy who takes this channel. Basically, it's a one-man operation, and I try to post one air check or one piece of radio-related content every day for the 30,000 radio geeks that follow this channel. If you're one of the 30,000, thank you so much. Glad to have you on board. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to know, feel free to leave a question. I'll try to go through all of them in the next half hour while I'm hanging out here before I go play Civilization 6. Anyway, I may as well tell you about a couple things I'm looking for. I'm looking for a few air checks to post on the channel. And I'll tell you what I'm looking for here in a second. Basically 5 stations I'm looking for right now that I really don't have a lot of. Hey, Jersey Mike says, love your air checks, especially the CBS FM stuff. Oh, okay. Glad you enjoy it. That's great. Glad to hear. CBS was always one of my favorite stations anyway. Gary, good afternoon, Ellis. Hey, Gary, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm just wondering who's been following this channel the longest. I first started posting air checks around 2008 and probably really got serious about posting them around 2011, 2012. And it's hard to believe that was 12 or 13 years ago and we're still going. So, hey, I'm thankful for you guys. So I'm not just wasting my time posting stuff. It's kind of like a very niche YouTube channel. So I know I'll never have 1 million, 10 million followers, but hey, I've got 30,000 radio geeks. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, here's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find some air checks of WBLS and WWRL New York from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. All right, I know I won't find WBLS from the 60s because it wasn't around, but WWRL was. It's just hard to find a lot of those R&B air checks from the 60s and 70s, so I'm always looking for that. And, oh, what was that there? Something just flew by. Renee, Hal Jackson, and ABC were my faves. Yeah, you know what? That was actually up there in my list, too. I always appreciated that. So, yeah, anything from WBLS 1990 or earlier or WWRL from 1990 or earlier, I'd love to get my hands on that. Who else is here? John says, how about a tribute to first stations? Mine was the infamous WOHN 1440 in Herndon, Virginia, 50 years ago. I actually know that station, mainly because I spent time working in Virginia at WXLK in Roanoke and WNVZ Z104 in Virginia. So that's not a bad idea. I will give that consideration. A Diamond Films would love to hear WMGM New York. You know what? So would I. WMGM air checks for some reason are hard to come by. But I will keep looking for them and trying to see if I can get my hands on them because I like that station too. New York just had some great stations back in the day, so I just love going through their stuff. All right, in addition to that, WWRL and WBLS in New York, I'm also trying to see if I can find any air checks of a very specific talent. This is going to be very esoteric here. His name is David Paul, and he used to work at WSB in Atlanta. He did a show called Off the Wall with David Paul. It was on in the 1990s. I love this show. This guy just had the Southern accent and would just pick on people, and it just made for some great radio. I don't know whatever happened to David Paul, where he went, what happened. I can't seem to find any air checks. So if you happen to know of any air checks of David Paul from WSB, I think he might have been on one of the other talk stations in Atlanta. If you know anything about him or where I can find some of his audio, I would love that help. Also, I'm looking for any R&B air checks from 1980 or earlier. As I mentioned earlier, they're just hard to come by. So if you have anything, I'd love to hear it. Oh, John, you have a WOL 1450 WOL. I'm Petey Green. Anyway, you have some WOL from the 70s in my collection. If you'd like to share it, John, I'd love to share it here and post it and just try to preserve it if I can. Thank you so much. But basically any R&B, whether it's KGFJ in Los Angeles, WILD in Boston, the Z Twins in Seattle, WVON in Chicago, WOAK, or is it AOK in Atlanta? Any of them. I'm looking for anything. Who else is here? We've got Bob. Hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Why, hi, Bob. I hope all is well in Phoenix for you today. Also, Steve W. says WMGM had Ted Brown and the redhead. Yes, Peter Tripp. Absolutely. Love me some Peter Tripp. Had a great sound. That it did. Robert says Bob Hyland, GM at WCBS FM. Okay. Jeff. WMMS, Cleveland, home of the buzzard. Yeah, I love them. I don't have a lot of MMS in my collection, so that's another station. If you or anybody has WMMS through the years, it was such a great station. I would love to be able to share that here. Jersey Mike asks, did you ever try reaching out to Bobby J? He may be a good resource. Actually, a few years ago, I did talk to Bobby J. He told me he would check and see what he might have, and that's the last I ever heard. And I don't want to pester anybody. Maybe I'll ask him again. But let's face it, most of the stuff that's on this channel now basically comes from fans of the channel. When I started posting in 2008, I was posting 100% of my stuff that I recorded through the years. But by the time we got to about 2020, I was out of material. So the only reason this channel is still going is because of the people who have offered audio. So if you are one of those people, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And I will try to, as long as people send me audio, I will keep posting on this channel for as long as I can. So thank you very much. Renee asks, how about some DC area from the 1960s? You know, I don't have much from DC. Even though I'm from Philly, I don't have much from DC from the 60s. I have a couple of air checks from, why can't I think of its calls now? Give me a second. It'll hit me. It'll hit me. The big CHR, the big top 40 in DC. PGC. Whew. The memory is going. I have a couple of old PGC air checks, but not a lot. I have some Bob Raleigh, which I've posted some here, and I'll probably post another one in about a month or so. I'm working on it now. But I will try to work on it, and if you have anything from DC, you can share, or anybody has anything from DC to share, I would love to be able to share it here. Feel free. There's a station near DC I used to get a kick out of, and that was 810 WYRE, I believe in Annapolis. If anybody has any of that station, I'd love to post some of that too. Let's see, who? Terrell. Hello, Ellis. How do you feel about many AC radio stations across the country switching their formats to Christmas music every year during the holiday season? I don't really feel one way or the other. If they want to do it, more power to them. They can do it. And for a lot of them, it works. Right here in Orlando, we have a station, WMGF Magic 107.7, and they have the best ratings of the whole year when they do their Christmas music, and I'm sure they sell the living daylights out of that. So, yeah, I don't really have a feeling about it. If it works for them, great. If they just want to stick to their regular format, I'm okay with that too. I don't have a horse in that race, and I don't have to worry about meeting payroll for it. So, they can do whatever they want. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Some of them do have huge ratings. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Some do. Magic 107, Chad and Leslie. Absolutely. I was listening to that station back when it was Dave and Leslie and whoever did the show before them and whoever. I've actually competed against that radio station. I came to Orlando back in 1992 to do radio. And I started doing morning radio in Orlando back in 1994. And through some miracle, I'm still here doing morning radio in Orlando. I believe I have the second longest running morning show in Orlando. So I am thankful for that. Let's see. Dwall44, yo, what's up? What's up, man? I'm saying man because my channel is 99% male. I've often wondered, how do I get more females following this channel? But I have so few. So if you're one of the few, thank you. I appreciate you. I know radio has long been a bastion of men, so I get it. Anyway, Dwall says, hello. When can we expect more Philly stuff to get posted? Also, what do you think of that early 70s WORFM? Oh, yeah, ORFM doing the Drake format? I thought it was a tight-sounding station. I thought it was a good sounding station. Wasn't the most creative station, but it did what it was supposed to do. Rank up that cume, keep the hits rolling, forward momentum. So it was fine. It was a great sounding station. It almost sounds like it was a forerunner for Hot Hits, which came along in the 80s. By the way, what was I just saying? I lost my train of thought. Let me see. Hang on. Let me see. I'm looking to see what I have coming up in the next week or two as far as content goes. Let's see, what's today's date? Today is, I'm looking at 2025. Hang on. I actually work ahead with this channel, believe it or not. I try my best to try to stay ahead. Come on, I'm still in 2025. What's coming up next week? Okay. Coming up next week, we've got a couple of air checks from CKLW. And some actually not air checks, jingles. I got some CKLW jingles from Pam's. A couple different Pam series coming up this week. Also coming up this week, we've got, something really special. An air check from KQV in Pittsburgh with Bob DiCarlo, the long-running morning man at KQV, interviewing Howard Cosell. That's an interesting one. You want to check that out. Got an air check on the way from Primetime Peepee at KCCN FM 100 in Honolulu when I was there. A couple of air checks on the way over the next week or two from Gary Mack and the Real Don Steele from 93 KHJ Los Angeles. Somebody recently sent me some KGB stuff, so I've been trying to feature that. So some KGB's coming up in the next 2 weeks. I got some WLS from the WLS Big Rewind with John Landecker from, when was that, about 2007? That's on the way too. An air check from Coma, 1520 in Oklahoma City with Charlie Tuna. And a bunch of jingles, a jingle montage featuring the Fusion Actualizer / Hot Hits jingle package from stations like WCAU FM, 99X, TIC, KILT, WBBM Chicago, WFIL Philadelphia. So if you're in the jingles, I'm taking care of you two in the next couple weeks. And Joe Martell from WROR, who used to be a part of the Joe and Andy family at WROR. So we'll be getting to that in the next couple weeks. So there, you got a sneak peek of what's coming up, so you know, nothing worthwhile there. I can avoid the channel. Anyway, let's see what else is here. I got behind, didn't I? Would you please consider posting air checks from Asher Smash Ben Ruby, who is a legendary personality from the St. Louis area and the father of veteran character actor Abraham Ben Ruby. Get out of here. I didn't know his dad was in broadcasting. Wow, how about that? By the way, I used to love him when he was on the TV show Parker Lewis Can't Lose from about 35 years ago, back when, boy, that was a long time ago, 35 years ago. I don't have any in my collection, I believe. Hang on. Let me confirm that. I have my drive over here. I have a 20 terabyte drive that is full of audio. And let me see if I have any Ben Ruby. Let's see. Anything? Did I spell his name right? Hang on. Benrubi, and I am getting absolutely nothing. No, I have nothing. But if you have anything or anybody has any air checks at all of Asher Smash Ben Ruby, I would truly love to hear it, first of all, and I'd love to share it. Gary says, I was wondering if you're going to be using up the Wi-Fi 92 tape that I sent you a while ago. Yes, I will. I don't have it scheduled as of yet. Hang on, let me see. I don't have it scheduled yet, but I got to get to it. I'm trying to do something because I know I post a lot of Philadelphia, so I'm like deliberately trying to back away from posting so much Philadelphia. Since it's my hometown and it's what I know best, I post a lot of it. So I'm trying not to post as much, but I will definitely get to it because I love Wi-Fi 92. It was a great, I think they only had one jingle through all of their existence. No, actually they had a couple different shotguns and they would wear each one out and then get a new one. Let's see, what else we got? Renee says, welcome, I love radio. I figured you would or else you'd be on another YouTube channel right now. Jersey Mike, what station, Ellis? I'm in Davenport a good part of the year. What station? Oh, I can't remember that thread now in my mind. What station? I'm sorry, I got a little behind there. I'm in Davenport. What station? I can't remember the conversation. I'm so sorry. My memory is really going. Oh, what else is here? Jack T's music on vinyl. Philly radio guy here. Yeah, right. Oh, I jumped around, didn't I? Oh, no, I didn't. I'm good. Philly radio guy here. Long gone from there now. Me too. I'm in Orlando. I may have some Wava. Ooh, from the 80s. I'll check to see if I can share it with you. Great channel, Ellis. Glad you enjoy it. I used to love Wava, especially when Don and Mike were doing the morning show there. That was some good stuff. Adrian says, howdy, Ellis. Showing love from Be More. I spent a short time on the radio in Baltimore, 2 different radio stations. In 92, I was at a station there called 98 Rock, WIYY, during my rock days. And then I also spent a short time on the air at a station there, WERQ, 92Q. I don't even know if that station's still around. I'll have to check and see. Crystal K. It'll be great regardless. I know it will. It's kind of nice. See, I do have a couple females on this channel. I'm loving that. Dwal says, sorry, I meant, what did you think of the WOR tapes? Oh, I sent you from New Year's Day 71, I think it was. Yes, I got a kick out of it. I dubbed it. I got to go back to it, and I will do something with it soon. I loved OR FM. It was a great station. John says, I started recording radio in 62. Oh, you beat me to the punch by about 10 years. What about WEAM? EAM in DC was a great station. I used to love it. Weird signal, though. I remember at times driving out of the signal when I was in certain places. What about WWDC? You know, WWDC in Washington is like one of those stations everybody forgets about. But I will see if I have anything. I don't think I have much from WWDC, but I will. In fact, hang on. Let me check on that right now. Check the database. WWDC. I got a bunch of WWDC jingles, and what I'm going to do sometime soon is I will put together a WWDC jingle montage, and that should be fun to go through. Oh yeah, I got a lot of. Oh, never mind. That's WWDC FM with the Greaseman. I got a bunch of Greaseman that's been sent to me over the years. I got a ton of jingles, including a really strange one from Pam's called Pam's Ecology 1970. I don't know if you've ever heard these jingles. They are some of the strangest jingles I've ever heard. Here, I'm going to try to play one for you.
What will you try when you're through with a weed? Will you fly right along and finally try speed? Will you go under fast and sail real high in some distant day? Sit and ask yourself why you let yourself turn to such a lonely hill before it's too late. Before you start, remember speed can kill.
Speed can kill.
WWDC.
They're the strangest jingles I think I've ever heard. I don't even think I've ever heard Pam's use that package on another radio station. It's called Pam's Ecology from 1970. It's all about us destroying the ecology. It's about us using drugs. It's about us ruining our lives. It's a great uplifting jingle package if you ever want to check it out. Have I posted it? Hang on. Now I got to let you know if I posted it. Hang on. Ecology. Ecology does not start with a C. ECOLOGY. Yes, I did post this back in 2021. If you want to look it up and listen to the whole thing, if you really are a glutton for punishment, I normally love Pam's stuff. This one I did not like. It's WWDC Pam's Ecology jingle. So it's already up there. You'd like to punish yourself. All righty. What else was I doing here? Elmo said, what's better? Whoops. Oh, man, I jumped ahead. I lost your post there. Man, I really got behind, didn't I? What's better, XEWWAM or XEPRS, Express AM? I have always been a sucker for XEPRS and the Wolfman and just the history of that radio station. By the way, if you didn't hear, Tijuana's XEPRS went oldies part of the time last week, and it looks like they're running old shows, believe it or not, from the Real Don Steele, Wolfman Jack, and others. It doesn't stream, or at least not yet. So you need to be in the San Diego, Los Angeles area to be able to hear that, or know somebody who can play it down line to you. But you may want to check that out, because I don't know how long that station's going to be around. What else is here? John says WYRE is a dump. 250 watts on 810. I know, but I was always amazed at what great radio they could create out of that dump back when I used to listen to them in the 70s. They just did an amazing job for a station that had almost no resources, I always thought back in the day. Oh, what else is here? Robert says, hi, Ellis. Great to see you. Well, hi, Robert. Great hearing from you. Dwal says, I probably started following around 2016, 2017. I was asking earlier, who is the longest person following this channel? Following this channel since 2016 is a pretty nice feat. That means you've been here for 8 years, so thank you. Appreciate it. Jeremy says, hello, Ellis. I hope all is well. And yes, you are right about that TV show. Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Yes. I used to love the first 2 seasons of that show. And the 3rd season of Parker Lewis, they changed the name of the show to just simply Parker Lewis. And the show wasn't as good because Parker Lewis could suddenly lose. Is that show on DVD? I'd actually, now that we're talking about it, I'd like to go see it. I was watching Space 1999 earlier this morning for anybody who remembers that show. Let's see. What else is here? John says WRC 980 was the only DC top 40 with a night signal around the Beltway. Understood. True that. Jeremy says, how about WDRE? Yes, WDRE. I actually worked at that station years earlier, back in the 70s, back when it was WLIR. I did, I used to be there Sunday mornings playing their God Squad and public service shows back in the day. WDRE was a great station. I have to admit, I didn't really hear it that much because I wasn't up there. I know it was simulcasting out of New York and into Philly also. I know a lot of people were upset when that station went away. I do remember. What else do we have here? D Guy from Long Island, New York air check. All right, I try to post New York. I try to keep the people happy. I try to post about one New York air check every 2 to 3 weeks. There's normally some New York floating around in here. Big Daddy L, Rob says, hey Ellis, do you happen to have any air checks from Philly's great WMGK Magic 103? I'm Mike Bow. From around 1979, 1980. Oh, he actually is mentioning Mike Bow. I will have to check on that. At the time, I was probably about 18 years old, and I have to admit, I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the soft ACs then. I wish I had been. I was paying a lot more attention then to WABC and WFIL. Well, maybe not as much attention to FIL. Wi-Fi 92 at the time. But let's see. Hang on, let me see. WMGK Magic 103. I'm Mike Ball. And now another magic set of music where the magic is the music on Magic 103. I've got the Bella. I've got a bunch of Magic 103 jingles, which I have actually posted already if you want to look for them. No, I am sorry. I've got some Harvey in the morning on MGK. Juan Valerta. Oh, I have a Mike Bow. It's posted already. I posted a Mike Bow air check back around 2019. So if you want to do a search on my channel for WMGK and Mike Bow, you can find it. There's also an air check of David Langford, if anybody remembers him before he left to go to WWSH. Okay. Man, how do I remember all these calls? I have no idea how I do this. Let's see, where was I? I have a 1978 recording of the Sunset Switch from XEPRS in Spanish to Express in Spanish. John, if you want to send it to me, I'd love to share it. I would do that, definitely. What station do you work for? 88.3. Yes, I do the morning show at Z88.3 in Orlando. I've been doing the morning show here for 17 years. Before this, I did the morning show at K92 FM, the country station here in Orlando. Before that, I worked at Star 94.5 and B94.5, Young Country here in Orlando. So I've been lucky to spend a lot of time doing morning radio and staying employed in Orlando, which is pretty cool for somebody who's a minimal talent at best. So I feel very blessed. Let's see, what else do we have here? Codger Jim. If you ever get any air checks of WLTA FM 100 in Atlanta, including my Sunday night oldies show, Golden Sundays at Timothy John's, please post. Okay, I'll see if I run across or anybody sends me any. I'll keep my eye open for you. Oh, I'll send you some more Quixie. Yes. Oh, please send some more Quixie jingles. I always loved Quixie and Dixie. WQXI was an amazing radio station in its day. Absolutely loved it. Boy, I really did get behind on the comment. Man, did I get behind. I always try to stay on top of them, and then I get like 5 years behind. I don't know how that always happens. Anyway, here, let me run through them quickly here. Terrell says, when Power 99 first started in the early 80s, October 1980 to be exact, when Power 99 started, It was originally a Churban format. And not only was it Churban, it was originally called Kiss 99 FM. And they were going to change the calls from WUSL to WPKS, Philadelphia's Kiss. So it would have been Kiss 99 FM. However, there was another station that was about to go on the air called Kiss 100, WKSZ Media, Pennsylvania. WKSZ got a cease and desist and made Kiss 99 FM stop using that name. For 6 months, from November 82 until about April 82, the station was simply known as 99 FM. That's it. 99 FM personalities are compensated for their appearances. So all they called themselves was 99 FM until they started running promos where they were saying, you've got the power to hear your music on 99 FM. And the power and the 99 just kept getting closer and closer until one day it was Power 99 FM throwing out another commercial-free superset for Philadelphia. I'm Jeff Wyatt on Power 99 FM. I don't know why I remember that. I just do. Anyway, yes, it was a Churban format with a mix of CHR and urban, sort of a precursor to today's rhythmic format. You were absolutely right. When Jeff Wyatt was there, he had come from Kiss 108 in Boston, which was doing something similar. Some of his, they also had some help from 98.7 Kiss in New York. Tony Q was involved with helping there also. So, yeah, it was a great station in its day. It eventually evolved by the late 80s into a hip-hop station. But they've always done pretty well through the years. Let's see, what else do we got here? Adrian says, Q92 is WERQ, is R&B hip-hop station in Baltimore. Okay, it is still there. Thank you, Adrian, for letting me know. Sal D says, Ellis, do you still listen to any contemporary hit station? And shouldn't adult contemporary stations be dropping the 80s by now? I do still listen, but not as much as I used to. I actually enjoy listening for some reason to CHR more out of London. Maybe it's the London stations aren't quite as harsh as CHR here in the States, so I enjoy listening to that. And some ACs are very contemporary. I can tell you our two ACs here in Orlando, Mix 105 and Magic 107, are both very contemporary. You don't hear a ton of 80s. You hear some, but not a lot. But remember, the format is 25-54, so you got to keep those 54-year-olds hearing their Madonna records. It'll be that way. I think in 10 years or so, you'll notice the 80s will start to drift away, just as most of the 70s have drifted away. So if you've been waiting for your all 90s channel, hang on, it's probably coming. Oh, let's see. Do you have Long Island air checks? I have a couple. I know I have WBLI and an air check of WGBB. I might have an air check of myself on WLIR. I'll have to check and look for that, but I will see. Codger Jim says, any of the original waxy jingles from when they ran Drake Chenault's gold automated format as soon as RKO bought it? I might. I will have to check on that and see. I could possibly have that somewhere. Raymond! Hey, Raymond! Do you think the merger of Sirius and XM radio years ago means the ultimate demise of both? And could someone like Elon Musk buying the XM half of the entity prove successful? I don't think they'll split them, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I mean, they are successful. They're making money, and that's the name of the game. I think they probably expected to kill off terrestrial radio, and they didn't. Terrestrial radio is doing a good job of killing itself. But, I mean, it does okay, and it does fine, and they can still afford to pay Howard's paycheck, so they're doing fine. I don't think they'll split it up. Now, one thing I've learned about watching business, when things come together, rarely ever do they split apart. So they'll be fine. What else? Raymond says, I'm sorry. John says, anyone remember Pepper Tanner? Of course. I've posted a bunch of Pepper Tanner air checks. I think I posted one just a few weeks ago if you want to check it out. Terrell says, what are your thoughts on TJ 98.7, which is New York's first ever pop-up radio station? You know, I got to admit, I think that is a very unique concept. You've got a station, they want to sell it, they don't really want to invest too much into it, but they have to put something on it. So they basically got the TJ show, which is a show out of the Delaware, Philadelphia area, put that on, built a station around it. It's a pretty cheap operation. So for what they're doing, if it develops an audience, great. If it doesn't, the new buyer may have their own plan anyway. So it's a unique situation for a very unique situation. That's interesting. You're the first person to have asked me about TJ 98.7. I was hoping they might go back to 98.7 KISS. And then I thought, I don't think they own the intellectual property because I think they sold it to WBLS when they flipped format back in 2012. So they may not be able to do that anyway. Let's see. What else is here? Adrian says, I'm originally from the Lehigh Valley. Do you have any WKAP 1320 or WAEB? The answer is yes, I do, but not a lot. I've posted an air check. I believe I've posted an AEB air check. I might have posted a KAP air check. I've got some stuff from WZZO. How do I remember all these calls? I have no idea. But I will try to make a memory to start looking at the Allentown stuff again and post what I have. There was a radio station in Allentown years ago on 96 from America's Little Apple. This is WLEV. FM 96. It was a beautiful music station. I think the calls are still around, but I think they're doing something else now. Anyway, how long has this been going? 36 minutes. I'll go for a couple more minutes. I don't want to bore you guys out of your mind. I'm actually amazed there's still 41 of you here in the room. That's pretty impressive. Mr. Rob KS says, I collect jingles. I have a few from WORFM. The jingles I have were known as the Motown jingles, meaning the music was sung by the Funk Brothers. Ooh, I don't have that. If you'd like to share it, I'll share it here on the channel. Seriously. Just shoot me a message, or if you want, you could upload it over at WeTransfer and use my email address, and I'll get it. My address is, I'll say it slowly, it's my name, ellis@feasterfamily.com. That's Ellis@Feaster, Feaster, family, all one word. Ellis@feasterfamily.com. I would love to get a copy of that. I don't think I've ever actually heard that, so I'd love to hear it. Let's see. Codger Jim says, in the late 60s, there was a company called Up Your Ratings. Yes. They sung jingles to the intros of pop songs. Yes, you're absolutely correct. I do remember that. Gray Man Media. Hey, man, what's up? You worked at 92Q. Was it in the late 90s? No, it was in the early 90s, back when WERQ was still a pretty new radio station. If so, what DJs did you work with? Pork Chop, KW Griffith? You know what? It's been so long, I don't even remember, and I wasn't there long. I was literally there for a couple of months, and I was in and out because I could tell that was not going to be my home. So I don't know. I'm not sure if any of those guys were even there when I was there around 91, 92. The station went through a lot of changes because when I was there, it was more of a rhythmic CHR, and I believe they eventually evolved into a hip-hop. So, sorry, I just don't remember. I was kind of a hermit. I hung out with myself. John asked, I have some Wi-Fi 92 from my brief foray into FMDXing. Yeah, thanks to digital radio, you can't do a lot of FMDXing because there's so much digital noise, and with all the translators, there's something on almost every frequency now, so it drives me nuts. If you'd like to share that Wi-Fi 92, yeah, I'd love to post it. AFN used Pepper Tanner jingles. Yes, they did. A Diamond Film says, years ago, I was listening to Tom Likas. Hi, this is Tom Likas, and you're listening to The Tom Likas Show. This show is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. And here's the number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's 1-800-5800-TOM. What am I down to? Like 22 people now after that? Let's see. Anyway, I was listening to Tom Likas on KFI and talking about working live on New Year's Eve. Great story for radio geeks. If you know Tom, maybe he has it and can share it. I'll ask Tom. I actually am a friend of Tom's. I will ask him about that. Codger Jim says EXRP streamed. Okay, I will check into that. Oh, he wishes they streamed. Yeah, so do I. That would be nice. John says, I worked at Wava when it was all news. Oh, they must have carried that NIS, that news service that NBC ran that lasted about 2 years till it went belly up. Terrell says, Ella, since you're working at a Christian AC, do you think that Christian artists deserve more recognition on the mainstream AC stations? If they can get played there, that's great. I don't know. I don't really have a thought on it because their mission is not really to get played on AC and get recognition for it. They're normally doing this for ministry purposes. So if they can do it, great. If not, they have their home, and that keeps my artists exclusive. But there was a time, I remember back in the 90s, where several of them were crossing over. Kathy Tricoli, Michael W. Smith, Amy Grant. There was a time there, like they were doing well in AC. Codger Jim. John, most of those Pepper Tanner packages were part of Trade Out. Ah, interesting. I didn't know that. Elmo says you should check out the jingles made for Loation 12 in Numberis. Okay. DJ Brian B, how about some someplace special of those jam jingles? I posted some. I'm trying to remember what I did. Somebody's at my front door. Hang on. I'm looking to see who's at my front door. Oh, hang on. There's something at my front door. Hang on. Let me go walk to my front door real quick. Oh, I got so much junk in the house. My daughter is staying with me temporarily, and she just has so much stuff here in the house. My gaming chair, by the way. Oh, okay. Just want to grab that before the porch pirates show up. By the way, it's my neighborhood here in Orlando. The guy across the street still has all of his Halloween stuff. He went all out. Anyway, okay, who's this for? It's for my wife, okay? Sorry about that. I just didn't feel good about just leaving a package sitting out front. All right. I'll leave that for my wife. Oh, let me check on the crock pot. Oh, yeah, barbecue chicken. We're having some pulled chicken for lunch. Ooh, I can't wait. Ooh, smells so good. Anyway. Whew. Ooh, it's looking nice outside today. Yay! All right, sorry about the interruption. Back to my office, back to my studio. Yeah, I just didn't feel good about leaving that out there. I bought a boombox a couple of years ago, and it disappeared on me. So after that, I make sure I run out and grab my stuff as soon as it gets here. All right, here, let me start getting through this quickly here, because I'm probably going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. Wow, there's still 45 of you here? You're kidding. I thought seeing my palm tree out front would probably send some of you to say, time to go live my own life. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, I had someplace special jingles I posted. It might have been part of a montage. Was it KSTT? Someplace special KSTT Davenport. No, I think it was Pittsburgh. Someplace special KDKA Pittsburgh. Yes. I did a KDKA montage jingle, and I think the someplace special jingles are in there if you'd like to go look for it. Where was I? Oh, I am ridiculously far behind. I may not get to everybody's comments, at least during the live thing here. Big Daddy, great imitation of Mike Bowe. Terrell says, do you have any air checks of Terry Hermrit, a Chicago legend? I don't think I do. I will check, but I don't really think that I have any here. I will look for that. Gray Man says, you could talk about stations that change IDs, formats, or other things about them. Hey, I'll tell you something if you want to check it out. On my channel, I have broken things down into different playlists. And one of my playlists is format changes and station launches. So if you want to have some fun and you're into that kind of stuff, I won't judge you for it. If you go over there, you can just go through a bunch of launches and format changes, and even some stations going off the air, which sadly is happening more and more these days. I hate to see that happen. Earl Joe says, do you have anything from the early 70s from WCUE, which Russ Knight was PD and Townsman Coleman did mornings? I don't think I do. I will check. I don't think I do. I'll hang on to this list of all this stuff and go through here later and see what I can pull out, but I don't think I do. Though I do believe Russ Knight worked at a station I worked at before I worked there. WXLK, Roanoke Lynchburg, K92 FM. I do believe he worked there. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Big Daddy, for looking for that. I appreciate it. Do you have any KSTT? There we go, KSTT. Someplace special KSTT Davenport. Do you have any 1170 KSTT jingles? I might. I will check on that. I do believe I do, but I'm not 100% sure. I will check on that. KSTT was a great station back in Davenport back in the day. John says WWDC AM was top 40 when owned by the Strauss family. Aha! Before the sale to Crossley. Okay, gotcha. Richard Walterby, do you have any WCCC Boston Bill stunt format change? 72? No, I don't. You want to know something? You got me on that. I don't even know about that. If you have it or anybody has it, please send it. I love stunts. My whole career, I've always wanted to be involved with a stunt, and I only got involved with one stunt. I wish I could have done more. But hey, 45 years on the air, I feel lucky to have at least done one stunt. What else do we have here? Ellis, any sound bites from the short-lived 97 WWDJ in New York? Oh my goodness, you are not going to believe this. Somebody sent me a whole group of reels, and I was just going through them and dubbing them yesterday. And as I was going through them, I discovered, that's Lauren Owens on 95 PEN in Philadelphia. I discovered a whole batch. Can you even read that? Batch of stuff from WWDJ. So I'm like, how about that? So from WWDJ, got Bill Emerson, Bill Bailey, Mike Phillips, Buona Johnny. So I literally just dubbed them yesterday. Oh, what a mess. Now it's unraveling on me. I will try to get to those and get them up. Also on this tape, there's a bunch of Dan Ingram Network outtake mess-ups. Yes, Dan Ingram messed stuff up. I got the proof. And soon, you will have it too. So, By the way, if you've never seen this before, let me show you this. I actually have, for those of you who say I'm kidding when I'm saying I'm always dubbing stuff, here, check this out. Next to my printer, literally all this stuff, it's all tapes. I have to get to this stuff. Like even in here, you'll see like what's in there. Oh, Rick Harris, 95 PEN, just in case PEN. Murray the K and Mad Daddy on wins. Howard Cosell and Bruce Morrow. Jerry Blavitt on 95 PEN. What's this one? Joe Niagara on 95 PEN. I forgot Niagara spent time on PEN. I forgot. I'm so used to thinking about him in Wibbage. Anyway, I will get to all this stuff. And even up here, there's cassette tapes, and these are all air checks I need to get to. This is why I love it when people send me stuff that's already digitized. It's a lot easier. So this winds up being a bit of a challenge, but I will get to it. I'm up to the challenge. But if you look at here, what do I see in here? DFW, KLDD, Alan Combs, WZLX. Several from Alan Combs on ZLX. I didn't realize Alan spent time on ZLX. But yeah, it's a ton of stuff. And if that weren't enough, if I go in my closet, there's more stuff here. Now, most of this stuff has already been dubbed. So that's taken care of. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with all this stuff now. My wife keeps saying, throw it away, but I cannot throw that away. You know what I might do? I think what I'm going to do is when I'm all done dubbing, I'm probably going to take some of this stuff, because I just can't hang on to it all, and I'm going to put it on eBay. So if you're interested in buying reel-to-reels or cassettes or even DAT tapes, I got a bunch of them, and I will be selling them there sometime soon. So just keep your eyes open. We'll let you know when it's going to happen. How long am I? Oh, I'm 51 minutes? All right, I got to wrap this up. This is getting too long. Yeah, the count's dropping. I'm down to 42 now. Let's see. What else is here? Because ain't nobody going to come back later and watch an hour tape of me rambling. I wish I could find a way to do this and make it two-way talk so we could actually talk back and forth, which would be interesting. I don't know how to do it. It seems like with today's technology, there's got to be a way, but I will look and see if I can find some way to do this here. All right, let me roll through these real quick here. Where was I? So yes, I will get the WWDJ posted. Do you think you have any Philly stuff like WNUW 95? Forga Magister says, great, Z88.3 has an online outlet that gets overseas. I'll listen to your show then sometimes. Yeah, I'm there every morning from 5 to 10 Eastern time if you ever want to drop in and check us out. It's Ellis and Tyler in the morning. Excuse me. 17 years we've been doing that show. Hello, Ellis and all. Hope all is well. Well, thank you so much. B. Smith. Hey, B. Smith. How you doing, man? Fred Bugs did time on Power 99 in Philly. Yes, he did. And if you do a search for it on my page, you will find him. I used to record Bugsy, and I used to call Bugsy and talk to him all the time when he was on Power 99. In fact, for a while there, he was going back and forth doing time on WBLS in New York, driving to Philly and doing Power 99, and then going back to New York. I have no idea how Bugsy kept that up. Where was I? Western New York Chevy. WECK in Buffalo plays 50s to 70s. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. I'll check it out. Terrell says, what's the difference between oldies and classic hits? Okay, oldies are pretty much considered 50s, 60s, and early 70s, which you really don't hear much on the radio anymore, sadly. Classic hits is pretty much any oldies format, which is newer than that. So it could be, Late 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I'm even hearing some classic hit stations now playing 210. So basically, classic hits is any station that is not playing currents and is not playing songs older than 1975. I think that covers it all. DJ Brian B., do you know the medium market radio stations in the Midwest? I know some. And if anybody wants to share tapes with me from the 60s, 70s, or 80s from any of those medium-sized markets, I'd love to share them here. Feel free. I often get people say, well, I recorded this air check 2 weeks ago. I'll send it to you. That's kind of too new. Mostly this channel is mostly stuff that's 2000 and earlier, or it can be newer if it has significant value, like somebody doing their last show, somebody doing their first show, a format about to change. I'll do that if it's new. But if it's just Joe Green doing a Tuesday afternoon show that was a week ago, that's fine. Somebody else can do that. There are other channels that cover new stuff, and I'll let them do it. Let's see. Elmo. Also, I used the Kiwi SDR in San Diego. Used to listen to the return of XEPRS, but I also used Northern Utah SDR. Okay. The Dynamo 111. Do you have any WNJR air checks? Yes, I do, but not a lot. If you check my channel, there's probably 2 or 3 of them up there if you want to go ahead and take a look. John Pickney says, how about them Pirates? I have recordings of Radio Nordsee International, Radio New York International, Radio Caroline, among others. Oh, I used to listen to Radio New York International all the time. I remember them very well. Terrell says, how do you feel about the recent loss of CBS in New York? Sad, very sad. Should never have happened, but it did. But welcome to radio in 2024. And as they say on the TV show Big Brother, expect the unexpected. Mr. Rob, WNJR air checks are extremely hard to find. True that. I've tried. Do you know that before Alan Freed used to tape shows for WNJR before he went to WINS? No, I didn't know that. That's a cool piece of info to know. Let's see, what else is here? John says, you stuck around for an hour. Let me at least give you a new angle. John says, in Washington, WWDC FM was very briefly oldies before YDB came along and took it AOR. Oh, I never knew it was oldies. How about that? That's something I didn't know. Did you ever run into the late Gary Blah? No, I'm sorry, I didn't. D guy from Long Island. Why don't you have some EDM formats in the USA anymore? Because the audience in large parts just aren't into it. It's kind of like back in the 80s. People thought rock of the 80s was going to be the hot new format. It did so well in Los Angeles. They put it on in other places. Most of the places didn't do very well. The country just didn't want it, kind of the same with EDM. There are pockets that want it, but for the most part, it's just not mass appeal enough for the American public. Where was I? Back in January, Q102 celebrated 35 years as a top 40 station. Hey, if you want to check it out, I recorded Q102 on their very first day back in January 1989. I was listening. I recorded it, threw a tape in as soon as I realized it wasn't playing oldies. Mark Driscoll is on, and you can hear Mark Driscoll making mistakes, mispronouncing artist names, mispronouncing song titles. I remember he played Bobby Brown's Roni, and he called it Ronnie. He had no idea. Anyway, you can check out, if you do a search, you can find that WIOQ tape from 1989. Robert says, do you have any radio from New Haven, Connecticut from the 80s? I did news on WNHC, NHC legendary station. Very little, sorry to say. Every time I went up, I wound up recording New York and not Connecticut. I wish I had. I didn't. I'm sorry. Let's see here. John says, regarding tributes, how about one of the radio traffic reporters? I know WWDC AM, WOR, WNBC, and KFI all lost reporters on duty. That's right. Oh, and I was listening when the WNBC helicopter crash happened back in 80, was it 86, 87? Oh, that was tragic. That was sad. Whew. I don't know. I got to think about that one because that one's a real downer. Mr. Rob says Pepper Tanner also made what they called thunder jingles for WABC for a short time. Very true. The Dynamo, any late 60s or 70s WRVR. I've posted one. I think I've posted two. They're short. One of them has G. Keith Alexander, who later went on to work at WBLS, 92 KTU. I think he spent some time on WWRL as well, or WNJR, I think. But yeah, there's two short ones if you want to look for them. I will keep my eye open for RVR. It was a great station in its day. Oh, let's see. Anything else here? So did you bump into future superstars of national media like Howard Stern when he worked at DC 101? I actually did bump into Howard Stern back when he was on K-Rock. I bumped into him a few times because he would come down to Atlantic City for events, and we talked a few times. You know, when I talked to him there, just a very nice guy. Actually seemed a little shy, to tell the truth. But no, I had a chance to meet him, had a chance to meet, not Glenn Beck, but I worked with his partner, Pat Gray, for a while when I was in Salt Lake City. Mr. Brooks says was a big fan of RVR, gave him a jazz education. It was a great station. Man, I am going to have to run. I'm going to get through all of these later. I really want to see what's in here. How about any French top 40? I may still have some CKLM 1570 Montreal. You know what? Go ahead and send it. You know, hopefully they don't say anything perverted in there, but yeah, go ahead and send it. I'll post something French. I've posted a couple Spanish air checks, so sure, why not? Renew Power Rangers season 31 says, I'm glad you enjoyed my first jingle compilation on YouTube. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, very cool. Anyway, guys, I made it almost to the bottom. Hey, I just want to say, hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry I dragged you through 62 minutes of me rambling, but I do appreciate you following the channel. And yeah, seriously, if anybody has some audio they'd like to share, especially if it's already been digitized, because I got a mountain to deal with back over there. Well, whatever you have, even if it's not digitized, I'd love to share it. You can contact me through my email, ellis@feasterfamily.com. ellis@feasterfamily.com. Or you can contact me through YouTube or through my Facebook channel also. So thanks for hanging with us. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we'll do this again in about 3 or 4 weeks. Later. Okay. How do I turn this off? I don't know how to turn it off. Help. Help. I'm stuck. Help. I don't know how to stop this. Help.